What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be showing you some basics on how to start working on your own bow. So these are things that a lot of people should start with. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos like this one, so simple things like how to tie a D-loop, how to eliminate Peep Sight twist, again, simple technical things like that that a lot of people should know, and it's kind of the first step to working on your own equipment. So today we are going to be talking about how to tie in a Peep Sight, and we're doing it the right way because there's a lot of different ways to do it. But naturally, this is the way that I do it, so it is therefore the right way. But we got a Hoyt here. This is the new Hoyt Alpha AX2. I'm primarily shooting the Lift X this year. That's my personal bow, but brought one home from the shop to set up one of these new Hoyts, and just shooting it, getting the feel for it. We'll make some content with it, and hopefully you guys can see some of that soon. Also, shout out to Arrows Unlimited. If you guys want to pick up any archery gear, if you want to pick up this bow specifically, you can go use the link down in the description below. We'll ship anywhere in America. If you're in the Northeast Florida area, come check us out. I got a code down there for 10% off as well. So let's tie in this Peep Sight. Obviously, you're gonna need a bow with a string on it, and you're gonna need a Peep Sight. Pretty complicated, I know, but trust me, we can do it. You're also going to need some serving. Now, the size of the serving is entirely, it's all personal, really. I like to use something a little bit smaller for Peep Sights because you don't need something super thick, and I feel like you can really get tight with something smaller. You can get those knots tighter, and you're gonna have a little bit less, Peep Sight slide. Hopefully no Peep Sight slide whatsoever, so you want that thing to stay right where it is. All right, y'all, so I set up the camera on a tripod so you guys can kind of have a better look. I can put it in manual focus, get a bit of a sharper image for you. But we got our Peep Sight, we got our serving right here as well, and basically where we're starting is going to be right below the peep. So you'll notice that we got these gaps in the strings on either side. They're going to be about the same size, so we're going to use these gaps to tie in our peep. Essentially, we're going to come through this bottom gap from the underside with the serving. Now we're just going to tie a simple little knot and leave a little bit of excess serving. You don't want too much, but you definitely want to have some excess because we're going to be using it. So once you got that initial knot, you then want to lay that excess down, and we're going to start wrapping over the string. Also, you want to keep that snug. So a lot of times I'll use this other finger back here to keep things snug while I'm going over the string. We're gonna wrap over probably about four to five times. Now flip your tag end back, and we're gonna start doing the same exact thing, just this time the tag end is out. We're not wrapping over the tag end anymore. Wrap 3 or 4 more times. We're actually going to slide this down just a bit. I wanna have a little bit of gap between my peep and where my serving's at. And now we're gonna start making our way up the string. So we're doing this specifically on one side. I know some people kind of do it double-sided. I personally just like doing it one side. It's just how I do it. So basically what I'm gonna do here is I'm just going through the string. We're gonna stay on the bottom side of the peep here, but we're just feeding it through in that little gap and then pulling it tight. We're going over this side of the string. You can kind of look at it that way, just serving over this side of the string, or you can look at it as going between the string. Either one works, you're doing the same thing. And then you're tightening it down, just pulling it tight, and you're leaving a little bit of gap as well. You want a bit of a gap in there between each little strand of serving, and I like to keep these gaps even, mainly for just aesthetic purposes. You can have them all bunched up, you can have them weirdly spaced out, but it looks much better whenever you try to keep them even. Now we're going to the top side of the peep, doing the same exact thing, just on the top side. Also, you can kind of get your fingernails in there if you need to space them out a little bit more. Maybe they get a little too clustered up or something. Like I said, same thing, just top side of the peep, pulling it through, keeping everything nice and snug. And you're gonna keep doing this until you got about the same distance done on top as you have on bottom. Usually you wanna have 3 to 4 on the top or underside of the peep. You can have more, you can have less. It's kind of a personal preference thing, but to keep it nice, evenly balanced, not going overboard with it, 3 to 4 is usually what I try to do. We're gonna adjust the focus a little bit further down the string because now we're working on the top side of the peep. So now we're up here, and we're just gonna do the same wrapping technique that we did on the bottom, just going over both sides of the string now. And you want to keep it tight. That's why you're seeing the string rotate and flip entirely, is because I'm trying to keep everything really, really snug here. I like to use my finger, typically my middle finger on this hand, I'll hold the string straight with these two fingers here, my thumb and my pointer, and then I'll use my middle finger just to keep everything snug while I kind of bring my hand around. We're gonna bring this down just a little bit, probably do 4 to 5 wraps right there. And now, this is where it gets a bit tricky, not too complicated, but this is kind of where people get confused. We're gonna do something called back serving. So basically what we're gonna do is you're gonna take your serving here. I have to move the camera up a bit. You're gonna take your serving here and you're basically gonna make a D loop actually. So you're just coming on the back side of the string. Again, you wanna keep everything pretty snug. Come on the back side of the string and then just bring it down. And there you go. You got kind of a mini serving D loop, if you will. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna feed the serving through this loop. Now I'm doing it kind of awkwardly so you guys can really see what I'm doing. Most of the time I would just use one hand to do this. I'd hold it steady like this, typically using my middle finger, and then I'll feed through with my thumb and my ring finger, like that. But I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing better, so I'm gonna do it slightly awkwardly, but hopefully you guys can kind of get a better look at it. So like I said, almost like a D loop. Now we're gonna send this serving through the loop. And what you're doing there is just wrapping on the string like we were. This time we're just doing it inside this loop. You wanna do about the same amount, so we're gonna do 4. Now, on your last one through, you wanna pull this tag in, tuck it there, and we're just gonna wrap over it like we did on the bottom side. So now you're taking that D loop, if you wanna call it that, and you're just going over the string. Just like that. Now you can use the tag in to pull everything tight, and magically, you got a Peep Sight that is served on both sides. The best way to get these really, really nice and snug on top and bottom is gonna be using some needle nose pliers. Hand tight works too. And then we're gonna cut and burn just like that. So now the Peep Sight is, we've tied it in the Peep Sight. We tied it in, but we haven't tied around it. So basically what we're gonna be doing now is we're gonna be using this groove or channel in the Peep Sight, and we're gonna use some serving to tie around it to keep it in. This is the last part and the easiest part. Also, it should be said, you can do this first if you want to. You can definitely tie around your Peep first and then tie it in. I'm just showing you guys the order that I do things. So we're gonna come here on the bottom side. You don't need too much serving for this. We're gonna do a simple knot, just the most basic knot you can do, literally just sending it through. I want to say it's called a square knot. I could be wrong though. And literally all you're gonna do is do one on the top, do one on the bottom, and then finish it off with a good one on the top. And that, my friends, is going to do it for this one. So thank you guys for watching. Hope that was informational and helpful. Very, very simple tutorial today. Just showing you guys how to tie Peep Sight in on your bow. Hope it was enjoyable to watch as well. I'm gonna have a lot more of these videos coming out, just similar style, where I'm basically just walking through super, super simple things to get you guys working on your own stuff, because it's a lot of fun and you become a lot more precise whenever you know your equipment. It's great to have people work on it. I do it for a living, but at the same time, it's really cool to be able to do your own stuff and you kind of know how your stuff is. And it helps a lot whenever you're shooting, because you can identify things that are going wrong a lot quicker whenever you know your bow well. And also just helps you to be more independent. You don't have to go to the bow shop every 5 minutes while you're shooting, you know, wondering what's going on. Simple things like tying a peep is the first step to really becoming a pro at archery, at working on your equipment, all that good stuff. So like I said, more videos like this on the way. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.